What is up, everyone? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And I have been sick all week since getting back from my Ohio trip over the weekend to attend my brother-in-law's wedding. So I was in bed for an entire day from Tuesday through Wednesday, and I'm just barely getting my voice back. I got my water right here, so I can make it through this quick video, which I'm not going to keep long, but I wanted to give you guys a quick video to show you a project that I'm looking at. And furthermore, I want to show you how you can dig through and figure out if projects are good or not. A lot of people will come into the group and ask me, what do you think about such and such product or project? And I'll say, I've never heard of it. I have no idea, and I'm not going to do all the research for you. I have the research group on Telegram, which kind of didn't work out. Now I'm doing it on my own, and I'm still working on that big master list. But I'm going to give you a taste of what I do when I'm performing the research myself. So the project is going to be ZTX. And as I said in the title, I'm going to show you what's good about this and what's bad, why I'm still on the fence. I wanted to buy this. It's getting a little bit of attention on YouTube. There's a few content creators that talk about it, and that's how I heard about it, was from other people. I didn't discover this one on my own, but I'll show you what I do when I hear, hey, look into this token or this coin or whatever. I'll show you what I do to evaluate them. So let's just zip over to the desktop, and we're going to start out right here on TradingView. So what is good and what is bad about this on the chart? And then we're going to look at the good and the bad with all of the fundamentals on this project. So what is good here? We see it came out of the box somewhere around, it peaked at 2 cents, then it dipped down, went into the dog days, then it hit into consolidation mode, consolidate, and then boom, markup. And then there's our peak. It drives all the way up to, let me get the peak price here at around, 4 point something cents. Okay, so there it is, 4.2, 4.3 cents. And then it's been in distribution mode ever since then. This is a nice, healthy correction where first I thought it was going to stop here at this volume node at 3 cents, but it did not. And I knew if it failed that this little formation here would be a bear flag. It's a pennant, not a flag that has a square top and not a rising wedge, but an equal pennant triangle. So it broke out of the tip of that triangle, and down we go, where it found the 50 EMA here. Had another little pump up, but it fell back down as it got attracted to the next volume node at 2.3 cents. And now it has fallen all the way down here to the support and resistance zone that is made up of previous strong support and resistance price points. So we see it dipped magically to the bottom of this support and resistance channel, got zipped right back up, and now we're sitting just above this volume node that is right at about 1.9 cents. While the stochastic looks opened up and pointing upwards, and while we're printing light red on the histogram saying it's approaching zero and these oscillators are starting to round down a little bit, I'm thinking that we might not absolutely move up. This could be a great point to swing trade and take a trade here from, say, 2 cents all the way to 3 cents, which is absolutely not financial advice, by the way. I forgot to put the disclaimer in. But it could also break down. Look here, we had a crossover, it went positive, it faked out, went back down. We had another bullish crossover, it faked out, it went back down. Here's the third time, bullish crossover, will it hold? We don't know. Now, when you look at the 4-hour chart going backwards, it's peaking here, but as the stochastic has jumped up, you see the price really didn't make it above the top of this support and resistance zone, the box, the green box that you're looking at. That takes confidence away from this price action, for me at least, and I'm not willing to gamble on this at 2 cents to see if we could pump up here, because I don't think that we've hit a low. I would at least want it to return all the way back down to the bottom of this box first. But when you look at the 1 week chart, what is missing from this chart? What is missing here? If you said 50 EMA, 200 EMA, you are correct. If you also said no stochastic and no MACD, you're also correct. Now, that is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that you're blind. You're stabbing in the dark because you have nothing here to tell you where you're at in the cycle yet, and nothing here to tell you where you're confirming within the stochastic cycle yet, because there's not enough data. It's too new of a project, and that's why I'm not buying yet. So we're going to wait and see if we stick to this volume node at 1.9 cents, or if it fails it. And if it does, it could fail the bottom of the support resistance zone and go all the way down here to like 1.4 cents. At worst case scenario, it could retest the whole bottom. Now, where do we go from here? Well, let's look at the fundamentals, and we'll talk about the good and the bad. So one good thing was circulating supplies at 1.955 billion. Not too bad. Kind of nice volume, 914,000. It's been around a million volume. Market cap 39 million. So it's a nice small cap gem, which means that with such a small market cap, there's room for it to grow maybe 10x or 100x, which I don't know if this is a 100x project because I have nothing to go by. At least not on the trading view chart. Now, as we'll see in a few minutes, the project has been around for 5 years, but I don't have enough price history to really make a good judgment. We can look at the 1 year chart here, and then we can look at the maximum here, and the maximum only takes us back to October of 2023, so we don't have any history to go by. So I don't think that there's enough here for me to really feel comfortable jumping in unless it's at an all-time low. Now, what's bad about what we see here? Can you guess? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's somewhere over here. And if your guess was, well, the circulating supply is only 2 million, but the total supply is 10 billion, or 2 billion to 10 billion. So in other words, there's 8 billion tokens that can be tapped into and released into the circulating supply, as projects will do to raise money or reward users, like paying them for reaching certain levels, or for airdrops, or for marketing, or whatever, to run the company because they need money to run. So I say bad, because if we've still got 8 billion tokens left to dump into this 1.9, that means price could go way far down once we dilute the overall supply. It's like printing money. Now, sometimes you can read the white paper and know whether or not they're going to completely tap into this total supply, or if they're going to say, pour this out over the next 5 years, or if they're going to take 100 years or something to get the rest of the 8 billion tokens put into the circulating supply. If it was a 100-year time period, it's not going to affect price that much. If they are going to do this in, say, 5 years, it's going to knock price down quite a bit, because that's a pretty rapid time period to pour these tokens into the supply. So how do you find out about that? Well, you got to read the white paper. And we'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's go to the Etherscan. So I get on Etherscan, and there's no information. It's got this weird address. This is the exact address with this weird icon. It doesn't list the name, and I've got no information in the overview. Now, what I like to see here on Etherscan is information. Let's look at a well-known project that I have invested in and swing traded. It's called the Graph, GRT. So when we go to the Graph Etherscan, the Graph's Etherscan, we got max supply. Max total supply is right there, 10 billion. You have the number of holders, 150,000 holders. You got 1.8 million total transfers. That's information. So that lets me know there's a whole lot of people that are holding this, that believe in it. It makes it more of a safe investment. But going back to, here's our ZTX, there's no information. Okay, well, let's move on. Let's try the next bit of information. We can look at the website. So let's click on the website. And then we jump over here to ZTX.io. And this is good because I like the fanciness. Look at these graphics. So it's a downloadable, playable multiverse game, maybe? Okay. But as fancy as it seems, it says here, come back soon because it's currently under maintenance, but it's been this way ever since I first discovered it. I don't know anybody that's played it. And once I get into this info tab here and I start looking at the FAQs or docs or, whatever, I find out that this is a big gaming platform that's mainly popular in Asia. Okay. You got this avatar builder, play the game, doesn't work. Access your profile, doesn't work. You could mint, but that doesn't work. Let's hit the about. This is cool. Look at this big face here. Beautiful graphics, about us. So it tells you that it's a blockchain initiative enabled by the technology and IP of Zepeto, the largest metaverse in Asia, with over 430 million lifetime users. Okay. I don't believe that. And I'm going to show you why when we get to another website that tracks information. I don't believe this. I don't understand half of this. I'm not an expert with this type of stuff. Maybe you are. You can let me know in the comments if you know what this means. As the UGC-driven nature and creative economy aspect of Zepeto grows, ZTX aims to cater to the new demands of creators and communities, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what any of that means. Here's a roadmap. There's Avatar Builder. Make your digital self. There's Home Mint. You can make your house, which is cool. Cool graphics. Private beta launch. Well, that's no fun because we don't get to be involved in it. There's a token launch. Then we got a public beta launch. And then we've got creator tooling. Beta downtown. Okay, beta downtown. A media kit and say hello and contact them. And I haven't tried to contact them. All right, so website's cool, but it doesn't work, so that doesn't help me make a decision. Let's move on. Let's check out, that's the website again. Let's go on over here to the white paper. And if you scroll down, if you're in this area under the roadmap, it talks about governance, purchasing, in-game utility, token functions, supply, distribution, and emissions. And ZTX total supply fixed at 10 billion with the TGE. What's a TGE? Somebody let me know. Slated for October 16th of 2023. But look at this, the way this is distributed. Okay, you got initial liquidity 1%. Market maker liquidity, they get 4%. The Genesis airdrop, they gave away 4%. They gave 5.5% to investors. Zepeto, I guess is the company, gets 9.5%. ZTE rewards 35%. Now, see, that's a lot. That tells me if you're playing a game and you're getting rewards, that's about what? That's 3.5 billion that's going to get given away as rewards. But look at this. The core team gets 16%. The foundation gets 15%. And then there's a community fund of 10%. When you compared this to projects like Caspa that was 100% fair launch that has none of any of what you see here, I'm not so excited about this because this 35%, this can seriously tank the price. The 16% for the core team can tank the price. This 9.5% to whoever Zepeto is. The 5.5% to the investors, they can cash out so they can make a living. There's a lot of hands dipping into the pot, into the honey pot. Okay, so then token emissions by category. Well, how about time? Says nothing about that. Okay, then it's got vesting. Okay, so you get a little idea about how long certain tokens will be locked and then when they'll be vested. I guess there's rules about you got to be vested before you can pull them out. That's usually what that means. And maybe they give a penalty if you pull it out after the lock time, but not the vesting time. So the longest period is 4 years. So it looks like they could, increase that supply to the full 10 billion within 5 years. Not so good. Not to say that FOMO and a bull run can't knock this thing up 100x. It could, but you better believe it's going to come all the way back down to the ground if you got all of this hanging out there ready to be dumped into the ocean of cryptos. All right, so enough of that. Let's move on to the Certic Skynet, which gives good information. They do audits, but they don't always have an audit on the token you're looking at, the project. So this one gets a score of 78, which is all right. They get hit for governance strength, okay? And this says that they've been around for 5 years, okay? There's certain things that you can get information on here, certain things you can't. So project age, 5 years and 11 months. They give them a score of medium. As we scroll on down, let's see if we can find it here. We got price. We've got a section that talks about medium. They have a lot of Twitter followers, 17,989. That's a lot. That's a positive. That says there's a lot of people involved, but where do they live? They're probably not in the United States. I don't know, since they claim 430 million users of their project over time. Now look at this, daily active users, it says 89. I don't know where they get that number. And then their total users is 5,037. Now, this number is usually on the low end for a lot of projects, but this is on the low of the low end. But this is why I don't believe their claim that they've had 430 million people playing this game that says come back later because it's not working right now. Okay, going to Token Sniffer. They score a 0, which is not a big deal because Token Sniffer can seem to be a little random. And I think it's because they can't dig up any information on it. And they say that, they can't get a chart. They can't find anything about the liquidity pool. So they give them a 0. And down here it says a liquidity pool was not found, making it impossible to trade the token. And that's not true. So we can't count on that. Now, one bit of information that it is valuable from Token Sniffer, and I already did this in advance so you wouldn't have to wait, is the bubble map. Shows what the top wallets look like and the connections of where they're trading tokens back and forth, and you can usually tell if something's a rug pull. For instance, when you look at a project that looks like this, you see this big wallet here connected all those transfers here. This huge one here connected all those. This one connected all of these. The orange one is the founder wallet. That's suspect because this looks like fake transfer activity, wash trade volume, maybe. And this might be the owner's wallet, but they're connected to all of these who are connected to all of those. So this person could be dumping using this one, so their main wallet doesn't look like it's dumping. And then these are random ones that are not transferring tokens back and forth all over the place. So that's a not so hot one. But let's look at ZTX. This is fantastic. There is not one line on here which says that there's no wash trading. We've got 2 orange ones that aren't so much, bigger than the other blue dots. So if this is accurate, and I'm not saying that it is, it looks like this is something that a lot of people have invested in, and there's no sneaky devious volume or shifting tokens back and forth that's going on. So maybe they're being super sneaky or they're honest. All right. So that's a good. Now let's see if I had anything else on this. I think we covered it all. So let's just go back to the chart again. And all you can do from here is get in the chat rooms and find somebody that knows more about the project. And it wouldn't end here. I don't know enough. I'm still digging in on this. And sometimes it takes a long time, hours of digging to do your due diligence to find out if something's legit or if it's going to be a rug pull. It takes a lot of time, and I'm not there yet on ZTX. I have to convince myself before I believe anybody else who would suggest it to me or listening to somebody on YouTube. I got to know it, but this is how I find that out. Another thing that I've got to find out is who are the founders and are they disclosed? Okay, when you go to the website and you go to the About Us. Where are they? Like I'm looking here are the creators. Let's see if they have their names. Just because it says creators, it doesn't mean that they're doxed and telling us who they are. And actually, this says nothing about who these people are. So it could be a rug pull. Not to say that they haven't disclosed it somewhere else. Maybe I got to dig a little bit more, but whatever the case, I have to find that out. All right. And then I got to keep an eye on this chart. Now, it could blow off here before I have a chance to finish my research. It might. And this happens on projects. Let me show you. There's one project on the spreadsheet that I'm packaging to sell you where I give you a ton of different ideas. There's one. I'm going to show you what it did. ORE. This is one that I'm going to be giving you that has not launched yet and I'm looking into. And it's down here in the dog days at the point of control price. And I'm waiting for this thing to get set off. And I've done a ton of research on this project. There's another one that while I was researching, it already pulled a 10X. Right. And this one is pretty slick, but I still haven't given it the 100% nod. But look at this. We're talking it pumped 12X just in like 1 or 2 days. All right. I was going to buy down here. It already pumped. If this corrects, comes all the way back down, then I'll look at it again because it looks like we have a crossover here so I can keep my eyes on it. And when you look at the week chart, you got a whole lot more data. And then you know that when you get a candle like that, this is going to correct. Even though we've got a bullish cross right here, that can unfurl and come back down because this is just kind of smells of pump and dump because that's not a natural progression. But in closing, that's just how I evaluate them. Okay, so anyway, let's jump back to the radar here. So I just wanted to give you that, something that you can work with to sharpen your skills. You got another couple little free picks there that you can look at along with me. And if you don't have time and you want to piggyback off of the work I've done hundreds of hours worth of work, and I've got a list that's got, oh God, at least 40 projects on it. And they're all micro cap to small cap. And then I even do the math where I figure out what is the potential. Is this a 10X, a 100X, a 500X based on certain criteria, which isn't a guarantee, but if all of the indicators look good, I think I could roll with some of these going into a bull run. Bitcoin's going crazy. I've got other great picks that are looking good. One that you already know that I'm into, which is looking very good. Let me jump back. It's POLX, and I won't get into it right now, but it's moving up, and so is Swiftcoin is really moving up. I've still got my eyes on Telcoin, waiting for it to recover from the hack. If you know about that, post in the comments. By the way, what do you think of my Tom and Jerry shirt? Yay! Repping the Tom and Jerry for all of my VV fans. I'd love to see Tom and Jerry on VV. I'll have some VV updates coming for the VV gang, by the way. Stick with me, but I hope you're watching these videos and learning about what the underpinning of VV is, which is cryptocurrency, and these charts that we can get ideas on where the market's going. That's what I want you to know. So let me know in the comments if this was helpful. If you like this style of content, push me to do more, and I will. Let me know what updates that you have been waiting for to see. And I'm going to go back to blowing my nose, coughing, and taking this cold medicine. And hopefully I'll have another video back for you in the next 24 hours. And maybe tonight I can come back and talk about Bitcoin if this was working out well. But until then, you know what? I would really just love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And if you would like to help me buy some cold medicine, you may do so with the giving of a super thanks. And I thank you in advance because I'll be able to purchase that cold medicine and be able to talk and bring you more content that you deserve, because you guys do deserve more insight and information and picks from me.
Yay!
Those of you who are in my Telegram group and my biggest donors, you know who you are. Hit me up in the group anytime. You know you have priority over everyone else. And that being said, I hate that phrase. That's about all I've got. I'm going to go ahead and end this sucker right here. Peace out. This is Carlton. See you next time.